When you think of agriculture, what kind of landscape do you picture? Do you picture places like Durham, Fort Jones, or Tulare? Why not Antioch, in the Bay Area of California where I was born, or South Sacramento, where I went to high school? Because agriculture and urbanization are widely viewed as conflicting activities, when in fact they can exist in perfect harmony in the form of urban agriculture. Urban agriculture is simply agricultural practices like gardening, crop production, and aquaculture being performed in urban areas with limited space and unconventional resources. I was first introduced to agriculture my freshman year of high school when I became a part of Florin FFA. This chapter, one of the largest in the state of California, is limited to one greenhouse, a small ag mechanic shop, and just enough space to raise chickens and turkeys. With limited space and resources, I was taught animal science, floriculture, ag mechanics, and ag business, all because of urban agriculture. Urban agriculture practices positively impact urban areas in multiple social, economic, and environmental ways. Urban agriculture is often the first line of defense against food insecurity and malnutrition in low-income areas. Not only do the efforts to develop and sustain urban agriculture projects build a sense of community trust and civic engagement, but the positive interactions with food production leads to improved dietary habits, and a community garden plot can yield $6 worth of produce for every $1 invested in it. But despite the numerous benefits, urban agriculture faces a variety of challenges that inhibit the development of urban farms and community gardens. In a recent survey, nearly 100% of people said funding and access to capital was interfering with urban agriculture projects. This consistent lack of funding is a major obstacle to the success of urban agriculture. In general, very few local governments provide financial resources to assist with urban agriculture, and the Environmental Protection Agency, the Department of Housing and Urban Development, and the Department of Health and Human Services offer little to no financial support. Community gardens may require $1 per square foot per year for soil, seeds, and initial cleanup, and that's assuming volunteer labor and a free water source. However, tapping into a city's water main can cost up to $20,000, an impractical investment for a piece of land that you probably don't own. Unfortunately, there is a crucial difference between access to land and access to good soil. Much of the land that is available for urban agriculture use are brownfields and require government-specified cleanup. Brownfields cleanup, however, is extremely costly without state and federal funding. With all of the challenges urban agriculture is faced with in today's society, programs across the nation have developed innovative ways to alleviate the stresses placed on urban agriculture projects. The City of Cleveland's Water Department has granted access to fire hydrants to provide an accessible water source, and Baltimore has been working with local lenders to develop options such as revolving loans and small grants for urban agriculture projects. In an attempt to minimize operational costs, the Urban Tilth program in Richmond, California is working towards offering a tool lending library that would allow gardeners to borrow tools instead of purchasing them permanently. California's recent passage of Assembly Bill 551, the Urban Agriculture Incentive Zones Act, has implemented a tax incentive to landowners who lease their land for a minimum of 5 years to be used solely for urban agricultural purposes. This serves as an incentive for landowners to dedicate their properties towards urban agriculture, as well as ensure that the property will be used for agricultural purposes for at least a period of 5 years. I believe that the biggest challenge urban agriculture faces is the public's lack of education about it. In many areas, urban agriculture is perceived as an activity that is marginal, temporary, and archaic. My personal goal has become to educate others on urban agriculture in order to dispel this negative viewpoint and my hope is that eventually the word agriculture will not be associated with country people and will instead be associated with everything I have come to know and love about it and the way of life that it offers to both rural and urban inhabitants.